Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday's ad-free live stream. Really glad that you're here. If you're here for the first time, glad that you decided to join us. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. It's going to be a good one. Market has been really volatile and moving here the past AM and Asia session. So we'll see what the market has for us. If you're watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key markers using the timeline below. And lastly, if you are looking to take your trading to the next level, you want to add a little risk, but you just don't want to blow your account. Well, you can use the code DTJ for Apex. Apex is currently doing their coveted 90% off sale. So you can get an evaluation for 90% off. That comes out to be, what is that? Like $22 for a 50K account. I actually don't know the number. I'm going to sneeze here. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure what's been going on. My nose has been all over the place. $18. See, that's just crazy. I'm just going to get it because the principle of it. I mean, it's that cheap. That's nice. So we are going to rock and roll here this morning. You can use the code. I linked it in the chat if you are wanting to get one of those accounts. And that code will always give you the most updated discount available. With that being said, let's go ahead and open in prayer. We potentially have a breaker. The formation of a breaker. We'll see if that actually wants to play out right here. We'll talk about the market here in a second. Let's go ahead and open in prayer. So, Father, we just honor you this morning. Father, we fix our eyes on you. You are the author and the finisher of our faith. Father, you are our provider, not the markets, not our own efforts, but, Father, you. So we trust that you will give us the wisdom and the knowledge needed. Father, you said that wisdom is more valuable, more precious than silver, more valuable than gold, more valuable than fine gold. So, Father, we choose to rely on your wisdom, and we ask for your wisdom for the markets. Would you open our eyes to see, give us understanding, give us insight? I pray a blessing over everyone here, that they would see increase in their trading, not just in their trading, but also in their personal relationship with you, Father, that you would pour out your Spirit upon them. Father, that they would have increase in the relationships. Father, that they would thrive in every area of their life. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, folks, let's go ahead and rock and roll. Good morning. Really glad that you're here. What do we got? Ted, JB, Dominic, MR, Byron. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Glad that you're here. If you're here for the first time, say hi. So what we're looking at right now is, does this breaker want to, does this little high, low, higher, high action drop breaker want to play out right there? We have a higher time frame, or we have an opening range gap that's sitting right there, the big yellow box. Very large. We have an old new day opening gap here. I highlighted it slightly in blue just to kind of, so you can see where those levels are. As far as higher points of interest, we do have some higher points of interest over here from a few days ago. We have, this is my buy side liquidity. It is an hourly swing high, a 4-hour swing high, and then we have our breaker. This is the breaker box that we took that actually played out and gave us that 200-point move about 2 weeks ago. So we're coming back up to that level. And then the 930 level over here. So we're going to pay attention to those levels, see if price wants to move higher or if it's going to want to drop here. We'll see what it wants to do. But one of my new rules, I'm going to close my door here. One of my new rules is to not trade the first 15 minutes. So I will, pre-market, I'm okay. I potentially would be willing to take, I'm sorry, it just looks too good. We're going to take a stab at this, and we're going to see if we can get just 10 to 20 points. And see if we get a reaction here. Really just want it to come down to one of these fair value gaps. That's all I really need it to come down into. If we're going to push through it, I'll close the trade. I really didn't get a chance to go over anything with you guys quite yet. I'm just, when you got a big displacement like you see here, and we come back up to a level with a fair value gap on the right and a fair value gap on the left, that's my model. With a sweep high, filling this opening range gap from a few days ago. I mean, there's just, I'm going to take the entry. And if it doesn't play out, it doesn't play out, and we take the loss. But I mean, it's everything that I want in a trade. So, do I hesitate? No, I can't hesitate. If you see your model, you got to take the trade. You just got to take it and let the chips fall where they may. Good morning, Work It, Stan, Bannock, Jason, Bob, Emilio. Good morning. Good morning, Matthew. Yeah, if we got news at 9:45, I'm fine with that. It depends if it's gonna do one of those, that's fine. But I'm looking, if we can come down into this fair value gap, that's what I would like to see. I do, JB. That's why I may, depending on if it's not doing anything crazy here on the entry that I'm currently in, I'll hold it through the open. Awesome, Jency. Awesome. Way to go. I'm glad. I'm probably going to get one myself. $60 points to the low. So this would be a 60-point trade if it hits. and it would be a 47. I'm going to move that to the high right there. If it's going to go and sweep that high, I'll take the stop out. So on the opening bell here in 40 seconds or so, I'm going to hover above the stop out button just to make sure. I got my stop loss set up here, but I want to see if it wants to run down here. All right, here we go. 9 seconds. All right, so got stopped out. It swept the high and it's pushing higher. It did it give 10 handles? It gave 10 handles, so that played out if you had your target set. That's a trade I don't regret taking. I will take that every time because that model will play out. It's what we took yesterday. All right, so if we're going to run higher, like I said, I have this buy side liquidity sitting up here. I'm not convinced it's going to run higher quite yet. I really think we'll probably have some type of retracement considering that's all we've seen, unless we are in a trending day and we just keep pumping higher. So I'm going to give it a little bit. And if it keeps pumping, then we might have to change our bias and see if we can take a long. Jayon, good morning. We are going to not take a trade for the next 15 minutes. We're going to sit and wait. I like the idea of sweeping this low here. The reason why I like it, I mean, if I'm gonna go short, I'm not sure I can go how far down I can go, because I think we may see a reverse. We could get a retracement here. Anytime you see a swing low that closes right above a fair value gap, this is our fair value gap that I'm looking at. This fair value gap tends to be much stronger. So a swing low followed by a bullish fair value gap means a strong bullish fair value gap for the most part. That also overlaps with the breaker here. So we would have a bullish breaker right there. Now, I'm not saying I'm looking at this for a long. I'm just saying there's potential resistance here on us coming and taking that level. So I like that. We've already ran higher quite a bit, so that's why I'm okay with some type of a retracement and would like to see that. I'm just not sure how far away. I don't see it coming down to London lows today. It is bullish. And with that, we do have, I believe, news, right? FX. $9.45, Flash Manufacturing. Nice little reversal right here. I'm not going to lie. I'm tempted to take this before we actually hit 845, 945. I'm not going to take this, but I'm going to call this out. Look for a retracement back into this level right there. And if this wasn't, if I didn't have my rule, I would be taking this if it hits this line, even on this candle. So there's that. If we get back up to that line, I would be taking the trade. Looks even too heavy to get there. This is just going to drop straight to it, guys. Oh, what the mother, no, what the? Isn't that crazy? I was wrong. How do you can't even plan for that? There had to be. That's a news can. That's something newsy. That's the only thing that can happen there. That's an inflection of something that just happened in the market. I'm glad I'm holding to my rules. They just did a major thing with India. Look at this. Wow. This is the first fair value gap right here. Guys, it's better to sit out, even if this plays out. Even if you see something, it is better to not take a trade right now. I would rather sit out and not take something. All right, that was 1 minute ago. Yep, U.S. considers cutting China tariffs to de-escalate trade war. I knew something came out. You don't get that just out of nowhere. So that changes our bias completely. Not completely. This is a bullish breaker right here. I'm still not going to take anything. But this is a bullish... Oh my gosh. This is a bullish breaker right here. That makes, honestly, the news at 9:45 irrelevant. That's much bigger, more relevant news that we saw right here. So I'm still gonna wait till 9:45, but I'm thinking I'm looking at this as our draw now. But I'm still gonna wait. My volume is low. Volume is low. Let's see. How's that? Is that better volume? Good. First presented fair value gap right here. We're still watching that, but you can see this low, high, lower low, breaks above it. We're sitting at that breaker right there with the first fair value gap. So this is a strong indication. If this first fair value gap holds, we're running there. But with just the new volatility that's happening right now, I would rather miss it than get caught up in the wrong direction. That was 155 points, that one candle. Honestly, this really should move fairly quickly. I'm interested to see what happens in the next 2 minutes. Do we still find support here, or do we break below it? If we break below it, I'll look at an inversion fair value gap right there. Emilio, typical bull flag, you can't do nothing about that. We just had massive news of about US de-escalating the trade war. That I don't care what kind of structure we have, it's irrelevant. So what we can look at is confirmation for using our structure for confirmation on direction. So I'm looking at, we just got a huge influx of positive news. The market is going to go higher. My question is, does it want to respect this and then move higher, or is it going to run down lower first and then move higher? It could be what's that word? A trap. A trap for those that are bullish. But look at the candles. I mean, does this look like does this look like the response, like right there? Look at all of this overlapping. That happened immediately following this news. And this could be a data candle. This came out of the news, so there's a good chance we might try to reach for that. All that I'm saying is speculation right now. We just need to get out of this and wait. So there's nothing solid about what I'm saying. We're waiting for something better. I've been sneezing the past 2 days. I see what you're saying, Amelia. Yeah, either way, I'm sitting on my hands. Do you see how that the news candle literally gave us nothing? morning, Sarah. God bless. I'm not sure what it is. I put on a jacket for my car yesterday, and the moment I put it on, it's like I started sneezing. I'm like, this couldn't have been next to any animals, because I tend to have a reaction when cats and dogs. I don't know. Patience is the key here, folks. We took a stab. I took a stab at the market before we had news for a short at a bearish breaker. It didn't play out. Got stopped out at open. So we sit on our hands. If we look at ES is sitting at its previous week high. So that's a big level. So I would like to see that swept. It stopped right before, even on that all that news that we got, it gave it right there. Was it right there? Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was after. We still didn't hit that high. So I'm interested in the previous week high on ES to see how it wants to react. Do we get a rejection from ES and NQ follows? Is ES leading the way, or is NQ? Because we also have a sweep of liquidity there. Equal previous week high will be another sweep of liquidity there. Those are some big levels. So I'm curious to see if we actually get there. Weekly on NQ is way up here. So I want to see, here's the correlating info. ES is going to be the previous week high, NQ is the buy side liquidity. So I want both of those to hit, and then I want to look for a reversal potentially. Maybe it doesn't hit. Either way, we're sitting and watching. I would like it to hit this level. If you're appreciating the commentary and you like everything you're seeing here, hit the like button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Tells YouTube I'm doing something right. Surprised some of the stocks didn't jump more. You know, I don't know. Yeah, this level there is not. We'll delete that. ES is just under, about to hit that previous week high. What the? So it swept the highs of that news candle, but we didn't hit the previous week high on ES, and we didn't hit buy side on NQ. Oh, they're extremely nerve-wracking at times, especially when they just come out of nowhere. Now, we did sweep that, so it didn't quite come out of nowhere. Mary, that you have to. I started when all of this volatility happened. My stop loss was 15 to 20 handles, and then I bumped it up to 40 handles. You just have to take smaller size and increase your stop. And it's more important than ever. More important than ever to make sure that you're only taking trades based on your entry model. You can't speculate. I really like this high, low, higher, high with the displacement, fair value gap, and breaker right here. Right after the sweep, this looks really good. Two years, Mitch. 2 years as of March or April 16th. I hit my 2-year mark of studying ICT. That's when I really count my trading journey to begin, but probably 3 years total. The first year was total gambling. And then I started putting a lot of effort into education. That looked really nice right there. I think I want to take this. I'm going to try a shot right here. Just at this low. Based on the breaker and another breaker right there. I don't like that candle. All right. That's the kind of volatility we're seeing here, folks. I'm not going to trade any more of my personal accounts or eval or funded accounts. I'm only going to stick with an eval account. I don't know why that's not pulling up. Sorry. I was trying to get that screen set. All right, previous week high was tagged. Buy side liquidity was tagged as well. Let's see how this candle closes. Extreme volatility here, folks. I've closed my personal account and my funded accounts. I'm only going to be doing an eval account moving forward here today. There's just I'm not gonna blow an account because of the volatility. I refuse to do that. It respected this fair value gap, at the same time sweeping that high and making it closing lower. I like this to see it run lower here. Again, these are eval. This is an eval account only. And I think what I'm going to do here is even close this trade. I'm not liking it. Or at least move my stop to break even. I'm just going to close the trade and not mess around with that. No more opportunities unless we close below the first presented fair value gap. And my guess is if we close below it, it's going to be aggressive and it's going to run this low before we have a chance. But I'm not interested in a long, not interested in a short unless we get below that first fair value gap. Too much nudes, bad PA. Yes, I agree. Glad it worked out, Northern. It took me, when we started getting all the volatility, it's like I got stopped out after stop out after stop out, and I'm like, I can't handle this. So that's where you increase your stop loss, reduce your size, and you just accept the risk. If you're going to choose to trade, accept the risk and make the trade. I don't think they want to go higher. I don't think price wants to go higher. This isn't characteristic of a good news and the candles just explode higher. No, this is, I don't know. Yeah, all of those could be it. Either way, I'm glad I closed my accounts. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait. See if anything gives us anything worthwhile. The new day opening gap was 300 handles. Yeah, I mean, look at the price action since the tariff news on the de-escalation news, sitting at, what is it, 937? 937. And look at the price action since then. This is not price action you want to trade. Only reason I considered a trade here was we swept the high. We swept the high and we tagged the buy side liquidity. So did ES, and then it closed bearish. So I thought we at least could run for this low, and we didn't even get that. So I just closed the trade. We weren't getting any more fair value gaps. So we were getting overlap candle by overlap candle, and this is where I closed the trade around 10:03. Since we're sitting here waiting, let's go ahead and do our daily affirmation. Here's today's affirmation. Interesting. I don't need to predict, I need to prepare. God gives me wisdom for the moment and grace for the outcome. Today, I trade with peace and not pressure. There is no pressure to take a trade right now, folks. No pressure at all. We don't need to predict. We just need to prepare. Prepare by watching price action, by analyzing structure, by identifying key points of liquidity, and reacting to those points, not trying to predict. So we believe the Lord will give us wisdom. Wisdom is finer than silver, more precious than gold. That is today's affirmation. Oh God, I need you. Jaeyoung, 1/5/15 p.m. Very ugly. You need to make more coffee. Yeah, I'm about. Am I out? I think I'm out. No, I have a little bit left. I'm out now. I'm officially done. What does the 15-minute look like? 15-minute, just big wicky candles. Wicked into this 15-minute low right here. 30-minute. Hourly. Yeah, we got a lot of time left. Looks like a nice reversal setup. But I don't think there's anything going on here. I wouldn't call it that. I would say wait for the reversal to happen and then look for the trade. More news. What do we got now? Let's look. More oil news. You're not, Byron. First 10 minutes, last 10 minutes is the way ICT does it. I expand mine to the first 15 in the last 15 minutes. So I add an extra 5 minutes. Sorry, I just saw this. President Xi, I think we should meet. JD Vance. The Pope just passed away right after meeting JD. Seeing if there was any news, and that's what popped up. We're going higher today with all this good news coming out. Yeah, that's what everybody thinks, but the market doesn't run the algorithm. It could easily just run lower. Get everybody to think it's going long and then drop it. This is relatively small. It's a 20 handle inversion fair value gap. I'll be interested in doing an eval trade here. Swept this low. We'll see if it wants to come back to about roughly this level here. Again, I say that, but this is all consolidating. This is all consolidating. I really just want to see it move away. Yeah, that's why we don't do anything until it closes below. If it's not going to close below, guess where it's going back into? It's going back into this mess. I don't want to mess around in that. So that's why I'm waiting specifically for a close below that. What other news was did come out? House. What other news came out, House? Gotcha. Oh God, I need you. Byron, Easter was good. Little unconventional Easter type service. Our pastor just got back from a missions trip from Argentina, and came back, and he just gave a report on some of the miracles that they saw there. Some people had tumors removed. These were all like doctor verified miracles after going to the doctor and reporting that they've been gone. So a lot of good testimonies. And then did communion, and then came home and had big dinner with my family. It was a good Easter. Yeah, it was really good to see. A lot of the other parts of the world are really open to receive the gospel and the full gospel, meaning the supernatural. A lot of America is very atheistic, I should say, even though we say we're a Christian nation. I would say most people don't put little emphasis on the supernatural. And the reason why the rest of the world is, when there is no other answer but, breakthrough, they need an answer. They've tried every other answer and they have no hope anywhere else. They're like, yes, if your God can heal me. And their hearts are completely open compared to a lot of first world countries, or I should say, like more civilized countries. There's more atheistic, more self-empowerment here in the States and other European countries. That's why you don't see as many miracles. But that's a completely different topic. That's not chart related here. I like talking about some of that stuff when there's absolutely nothing else going on. JJB, you got it. Yeah, there's so many parts in the Bible that Jesus says to somebody. It says, it was your faith that made you well. It's two sides to the equation. Yes, our God can heal, but you also must believe that he can heal. Not just hope. Okay, well, show if you can do it, go ahead and do it. I'll receive it. No, that's not faith. Hey, Bob, I live in Nebraska. You got it, JJB. That is right. It's a partnership. The Lord will treat you, you come in as a child, but then he wants you to grow up. He wants you to grow up and be mature. In Brazil. Awesome. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Equal highs right now. Byron, it did hit that first fair value gap. We have pushed higher, but we're still inside this range here, right? So I really don't want to do anything in that. JJB in Seattle. I've been there a few times. That's the thing about YouTube. I think it's amazing that people can connect from around the world just like that on topics that there's some similarities to. I think it's great. It's crazy how you can connect with somebody from halfway around the world and you can't connect with somebody 3 doors down. It's like the world we live in is just crazy. You had a steak in Lincoln, huh? Was it an Omaha steak? We get a lot of beef here. With a good umbrella. Best $9 New York strip you've ever had, huh? We try all kinds of different steakhouses here in town. We just went to Saltgrass. I probably won't be going back. It's a it's a steakhouse, and I got the New York strip. It was actually last week. It was good, but it wasn't great. Really wasn't. It didn't wow me. I almost prefer just eating my own steaks at home. I've had a tomahawk once, and it was at this it was an anniversary dinner I took my wife to, and it was It was amazing. There's also who's Bob? Bob is from Brazil. I know this is probably just a trade name, but we went to the Brazilian steakhouse where you pay $50 and it's all you can eat steak. It's amazing. We've gone there multiple times. But when we go, it's like, are you hungry enough? Okay, don't eat lunch. We're going to go to the Brazilian steakhouse tonight. We're going to just smash some steak. Texas Day, Brazil, yes. It was delicious. Guys, we're just chatting because there's absolutely nothing you want to do in the charts. You have to become comfortable sitting and doing nothing. I honestly have probably taken too many trades as it is. Yeah, that Ted, that's when I go, can I have the filet, please? Can you go back and grab the filet? I need that one. They come out with like these sausage things, and I'm like, pass, pass. Like, I don't want none of that stuff. I want the most expensive steak you have over and over again. Talking 83. Well, I got to get going now, but thank you for all your help. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow. I really like your channel. I really like that you put Jesus in your trades. Thank you, Talking. I really appreciate it. It's I don't think there's any other way. All right, so we pushed past the midpoint of that wick, which that midpoint was a rejection. I was looking at a rejection block, seeing if it wants to treat it as a rejection again. So we'll see if it wants to sweep this high or if it wants to run the high. A run basically means we're just pushing higher, and a sweep is just a little sweep higher before it moves lower. But even still, we're not taking anything here because there's really no model for us to take something. Thanks, JJB. I appreciate it. I'm going to do more. One of my next videos that I want to do is going to be on the principle of sowing and reaping. I'm excited for that one. I think there's so many lessons to learn through that principle. I mean, you see it in your life everywhere, sowing and reaping. So, can you see it in your trading? And I think you can. I've already experienced it. Don't we just have a change of character? You mean a change in state of delivery? Is that what you're referring to, House of Whole? You took the 2 minute? Oh, there was probably a 2 minute in there. Nice job. Yeah, that looked good. After that sweep right here, I just wasn't willing to take anything inside this. I already made my mind up, so I wasn't even looking for it. But hindsight looks great. Played out nicely. And it swept that high. Nice trade, Northern. Yeah, yesterday's trade, we had a loss on Friday and a loss on Monday. And yesterday's trade not only uh, re- recovered our losses, but then we also added to that. Today wasn't helpful in that. Lost some. So we are currently negative on the day because of some of the news scandal. That news scandal kind of threw a wrench in things. I did take a small loss initially on this breaker here. This just I'll take this every time. If it came up again in the same circumstances, I would take it again, because this is as clean of a model as you can get with all the criteria that we look for. Sweep of liquidity. We filled this here. We filled this daily or this previous day's opening range gap. We had a lot of things. We just didn't expect the news candle to take place here. We're waiting for ES to sweep its high. The data high candle is, or the 10 o'clock candle, I should say. We're really close to that 10 o'clock candle's high. Let's see what happens after ES sweeps that. We still haven't swept that. I'll be right back. All right, let's see what happens here. What do you guys think? We're about to come up into the 11 a.m. macro. This is where I'd want to see something happen. Do we get an inversion right here? That would be nice. Does it go higher? We do have a breaker right here that we just ran into. Didn't quite sweep that data high on ES. News candle, or with the positive news, does it want to go higher? There's a lot of uncertainty in all this, folks. That looks good for a long. See if he actually gives it to us. How high could we go? Could we go higher? Not much higher. Could we go for the previous week high on NQ? I think it's safer to not do anything, folks, to be honest. I'm not liking much here. I don't have much conviction, to be honest. I'm building up to there, Dr. Witt. I'm building up to have 20, but one of the weak areas of my trading that I've had, and I've shared this on the stream before, is I've taken impulsive trades. I'm really disciplined on the stream, following my plan, but it's when I walk away and then come back, I'll do stupid trades. And that has just stunted my growth as a trader. So my goal in 2025 is to really eliminate impulsive, gamblish style trades and take only take my plan. And that's kind of my goal. And as I build up to that, before I just add a ton of accounts, I don't want to. I've done it in the past where I've allowed the impulsive nature of trading basically blow those accounts in the past. So before I actually do it, before I actually head that direction, I need to prove to myself that I can manage myself. So I don't want to just blow money. Nobody wants to do that. Yeah. No setup, no trade. Like, I want to go short right here. But I don't have the conviction. I want to go short. I just don't know if it's going to actually do that. I mean, if there's a shot to do it, it would be now, because we're in the macro for it to run lower. Oh, it's so easy to get caught up in that. When I've done that, but even if it's a lower percentage win, like I said, yesterday's trade was covered all my loss on Friday and my loss on Monday. All of that was recovered simply because we were able to hold for a longer period of time for a big trade that covered all those losses. So you don't have to have a 60% win rate. Yeah, 60% win rate makes everything really, really nice. 100%. I would love to see this drop right here. My standard risk to reward, I would like a 2 to 1 or a 3 to 1 preferably, but I've taken 1 to 1 trades many times. It's really where the draw on liquidity is and if I can get that draw on liquidity. This is a 5-minute breaker right here. I like the idea of going short. I just don't like the way the candles are looking. Yeah, if this goes, it's probably going to go really, really fast. The 1 hour reversal model. So what do we got on the 60-minute? Yep, that could play. But we would need to get some expansion lower because the next place of entry would be our 5-minute, which would be right here. So that could play out. That would be nice. So we are looking at this sweep right here. Price swept this level here. On the hourly. We're going to close this candle. And so what we would be looking for is a 5-minute entry and a 5-minute change in state of delivery. So our 5-minute change in state of delivery is right here. So we need to see a 5-minute close below this. We need to see that close below. And then once it closes below this, we look for a 5-minute entry after that. Don't know. A eval account, there's more risk than a demo account. If you go straight demo, you can just click the button all day. Oh my gosh, and not have to worry about anything. And there's zero impact on your trading. If you have an eval account, there's risk. You could take a loss. You could lose the account. So it requires you to manage your emotions. It requires you to it requires you to deal with the emotions that you would get during trades. You like the 30-minute better? So the 30-minute has a sweep. We have the low, and do we have a 3-minute entry? Oh, hang on. $11 a.m. So we're looking for 3-minute entry after 11. There is no 3-minute entry after 11 other than this tiny little one right here. So 3-minute doesn't really give us much. Well, there's your entry. I'm not taking that. I can't take that. We still don't have a 5-minute change in state of delivery, and this candle right here, this would have been our 5-minute change in state of delivery, or this would have been our 5-minute candle. And it just wicked up through that and closed it. The 3-minute technically our 3-minute is this right here. So we need to close below this before we could look for a 3-minute entry to the downside. Yeah, Dr. Witt, I mean, I've done all kinds of math. I've done all kinds of math. the thing about math is it requires you to execute based on the math. And that's not always the case. While I look at those levels, if I try to hit my targets based on what I'm seeing, I get more emotional. So I just take it day by day. I'm identifying my targets, taking the trade based on my targets, and trying to win those trades. That's it. And when I got a win, I thank the Lord. If I have a loss, my goal is to make sure that it's a negative win, meaning I followed my rules, followed my plan. It just happened to be a loss. What I don't want is a positive loser, meaning I got a winning trade, but it was an impulsive trade. It was a reckless trade. It wasn't my rules. It wasn't my plan. I call that a positive loser. I don't want positive losers. I want a positive winner, meaning I've followed my rules and it played out. But if I get a loss, I get a loss in that process. Would I be going against the trend by shorting? No, we really don't. Let me take that back. Yes, you would be, but we've hit some major levels that you can get retracements on. This being that level, the 4-hour swing high. So if it wants to continue, it can continue higher. But like I said, I'm not trading any of this. We're still inside that initial range, all that. We just made a little bit higher high and then came right back down into all that crap. I guess this trade, this entry here, this 5-minute entry would still be valid. But the thing, don't know, 443. What I would mention though is if you take a look at the hourly, or you take a look at the 4-hour. Look at the 4-hour. This is the last 3 candles of the 4-hour, just straight up. We're gonna have to retrace somewhere. So we take retracements based on key levels. So this is what I want to be trading. I don't care if it's against the trend or not. You can't sustain just straight up price movement, even if we got news. Once you hit a key level, to me this is a key level. It's a significant swing high. We've had a reaction to it so far. Tells me that there's opportunity to the downside. And there's lots of opportunity to the downside. Go back down to the 5-minute. We got London low. We got the weekly. We have the weekly midpoint. We have the opening range gap right here. We have the previous day high we haven't touched. We got the new day opening gap right here. That's down here. There's several reasons for us to consider taking a short here. So it may look like it's against the trend, but you just need to understand how price actually moves. Price doesn't just keep going straight up. It has these retracements. So what we're looking for is a break of that structure, and then we identify that for the move. That's what we did yesterday, right? And by the way, the market actually never hit what I wanted it to hit. We took this trade right here. We wanted it to hit this level. What had happened? When it hit this order block down here, it reacted. What time was that? It's at 3:40. We basically came back up and closed up here. So that's why you got to identify smaller range targets. Actually, I want to do something here. the best way to go about doing that, 443, is to reduce your size and take the trade. Reduce your size and let the trade play out. All right, so this hit the 5 minutes. So what I'm talking about here would be to look at something like this. I'll consider taking this right here if we close below it. We came back up into that 5 minute after the hourly reversal. That gives us everything we're looking for. This will be an eval trade if we take it. Trump is speaking right now? Son of a gun. Is that for real? Oh, he's done speaking? Okay. I want to see a wick up here. I want to see a wick into this fair value gap. Technically, I think we technically got one, but I would like it to come up here and then drop. I got it right here. I'm waiting. Go short, full port, all in. Go. That's what I want right here. Now I want to see it sell off. That's your breaker. If you wanted one. It's just it's not something I'd take a trade on, because we didn't sweep any liquidity here. This is the liquidity. But this candle swept that. So now I want to see that closed below. We're already moving outside of that 11 a.m. macro. So if it doesn't happen here in the next candle or two, I'm probably just going to call it a day. It's normally wick from wick, but look at the gap between the bodies. That's what we want to cover. We want to include that. We want to include that gap between the candles. Right there. So if those bodies are touching, it would just be wick to wick. Wait for the close. It could just run without us, but we wait for the close. If it runs without us before it closes, there'll be another trade. Don't let your emotions tell you, get in the trade. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. You don't want to miss this. That means don't take the trade. We'll take this. If this works out, I'll take the. We'll play this. I want now a retracement. I want it to come back up a little bit before I take this entry. More than what it did. If it goes without me. I want it to come back up here. But this is a legitimate trade you could be in right already. I just don't like it getting, especially with the back and forth we've seen. I want it to come back up and then get in. Doesn't look like it's going to give it to us. Well, I mean, technically it gave it to us and you could be in this trade right now. I just personally wanted to wait for it to come back up. We can also wait for this 2-minute close. So if we get the 2-minute close right here, this is an option as well as. We're going to take this trade a little early, see if it wants to run that low. Stop will be moved to break even as soon as we sweep this low. Stops at break even. It didn't tap me, and I might get stopped out here. I moved my stop lower because it came right up to it but didn't tag it. So if it comes all the way back down, it will run lower. I'm going to get stopped out here. So stopped out for break even. It missed my 20 handle target by a tick or so. That's unfortunate. Nothing good here, folks. We try to just take that short. Got stopped out at break even. Want to be quick at move and stop at break even for a price action like this. It wouldn't surprise me if we leave the low end right here, 1, 2, and then 3, and then come back up here and wait, save this for maybe the lunch hour. But this is going to drop. It's going to come down. It's just a matter of when, and I don't think right now is that time. In fact, you could probably take a quick long right here and probably capitalize on some. That's my opinion. Never mind. Folks, I'm going to do us a solid for everybody here. We're going to call it a day. We're going to call it a day. This is nothing we should be messing around with. So we'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9:15, praying for a better day, not all of this crazy. We can't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. So we'll be back here tomorrow, folks. God bless. Stay safe. Apex is doing a 90% off sale right now. Check that out. You can use the code DTJ if you want to check that out. God bless, guys. Stay safe, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.